Hi, I was going to very sheepishly and unabashedly promote my book, but thank you guys. The reason the book is relevant is the reason this book is relevant is at this double bill screening is because one of the highlights of my research was discovering Willard and Marie. Willard Mass, who is a poet, and his wife Marie Mencken, who was an experimental filmmaker, and then to identify them as the model for inspiration for George and Martha and Edward play. I just lost my mind. So I'll be taught with Willard at Wagner College, and together they organized the annual New York Writers Conference. I found a letter, not a letter, but a quote, a conversation that Marie had about Edward Albee, and she said that he used to come here and have dinner and watch Willard and me argue, and then he went off and wrote Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. That's supposed to be me and Willard arguing about my miscarriage. So Andy Warhol considered Willard and Marie to be the last of the great bohemians, residing as they did in overlapping circles of the zeitgeist in mid-century New York, among people like Allen Ginsberg, Kenneth Koch, Frank O'Hara, Joan Mitchell, Arthur Miller, Kenneth Anger, Stan Brakhage, and Jonas Mekas, all of whom were regular guests at their weekend soirees, their wild weekend soirees. The masses were notorious for getting really drunk and arguing with each other in front of their guests. So in my research, Googling one day, I came upon a picture of Willard in his 50s at the beach with Gerard Malanga, who is not yet 21 years old. I knew Gerard enough to call him up and meet for breakfast and talk about Willard and Marie. And it turned out that Willard was his teacher and mentor at Wagner College, and that he spent a lot of time with Willard and Marie at their house in their apartment in Brooklyn Heights. Hold on. It was only at the end of this long conversation that Gerard casually said, "Oh yeah, Andy made a movie about that." It's like, oh, and he said, I set up the camera. It was his version of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And I went, bong. Oh, really? So I got in touch with Greg at the Warhol Museum, and yes, they did have the film. It was called Bitch, which was made in early 1965. But it was in storage and had never been seen, and it was raw footage and by now very fragile. So it took a while for the museum to digitize it, and last summer he sent me a time-sensitive Vimeo copy, and I thought, oh, I think I should watch this with Gerard. And so Gerard and I watched the movie. He had totally forgotten who was in it, and here we are. So I just have one more thing to say. So anyway, Willard and Marie are the subjects or main characters in Bitch, made not long after Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf had completed its phenomenal run on Broadway, and before the Hollywood film by Mike Nichols went into production. Bitch is something of a real-life parody, filmed in Warhol's characteristic, unscripted, straightforward, home movie documentary style, albeit with better equipment. It doesn't resemble Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in the literal sense by any measure, nor much of anything else really. But it is being shown in tandem with Virginia Woolf today, both as an example of Warhol's endless life as art documentation, and also because of its artifactual relevance in terms of the couple, showing the couple who inspired Albee. For me, Bitch provides clues about Albee's deep connection to his time, out of which sprung George and Martha. And also, it reflects the fact that Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was enough of a phenomenon in its day to inspire Warhol, Mr. Zeitgeist himself, to make a parody if not a mockery, of the play, with the couple presumed to be its very inspiration. So if that isn't the epitome of camp, I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say. Enjoy the movie, and we'll continue afterwards with a little panel. Is that what's happening? Okay, great. Thank you.